Hey everyone, and welcome to the Season 1 finale episode of Pharmacy Pathways. First, I want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you who have been on this journey with me. When I first started this podcast, I had a vision of creating the resource I wish I had when I was navigating pharmacy school and also my earlier career. The fact that you've tuned in, shared episodes, and engaged with the content means the world to me. I also want to thank every single guest who agreed to be on camera and share their time, their story, and their wisdom on the platform. And last but not least, I want to thank everyone that believed in me along the way. Because when I had the idea to do this, I had no clue how to work a camera, how to edit a video, and I certainly didn't have any experience producing or hosting a podcast. This whole thing started and continues to run on unhinged amounts of discipline, determination, sacrifice, and most of all, faith. My main goal with Pharmacy Pathways was for you to get exposed to different career options that best fit your personal interests, talents, personalities, desires, you name it. Like, you deserve to find a career that makes you happy and fulfilled. A career that is mutually beneficial beyond just getting a paycheck and staying alive. You are a purposeful being with giftings and talents that can benefit your surroundings, even at work. And although I firmly believe you can pick the wrong path in life, I'm also just as convinced that there's no single right path when it comes to finding your purpose. It's okay to change your mind, and it's okay to try something else. And it has been a great honor to help bring those options to your attention. But here's the thing. I'm taking a short break after this episode to recharge because your girl is tired, and I've already begun working on season 2, making sure it's even more impactful for you. This means more diverse pathways, more expert insights, and more practical advice to help you navigate your pharmacy career. So today I want to do 3 things. I want us to celebrate season 1 with some of the most powerful moments that resonated with many of you. I also want to give you a sneak peek into what's coming for season 2. And lastly, I'll let you know how we'll stay connected during the break. To be honest with you, my mind is pretty blown when I look back on the season because the lineup of guests that we've had was insane. Like, the career diversity we were able to showcase in just the first season exceeded my expectations. We've heard from so many amazing pharmacists, each representing different niches, each having their own journey, and each having their own parting wisdom to share with us. Before we get into these top moments, I want to do a quick recap of who these phenomenal people were, just so you can get an abbreviated glance at who all was featured for season 1. Meet Dr. Robinson, a clinical pharmacist practitioner in family medicine. Dr. Klein, who is an inpatient diabetes specialist. Dr. Livingston, providing on-site pharmaceutical care in prisons. Dr. Rodriguez, who leveraged his clinical skills to break into medical writing. Dr. Spencer, a remote managed care pharmacist. Dr. Langstrat, a medication safety specialist and high-level leadership. Dr. Ebron, specializing in pain management and addiction medicine after a bold career change. Dr. Kim, an oncology pharmacist preparing critical IV infusions. Dr. Ete, a PharmD and a PhD in clinical pharmacology, focusing on pharmacometrics. Dr. Denaris, a critical care pharmacist thriving in the ICU and emergency room setting. And Dr. Frank Tillman, a psychiatric pharmacist managing complex mental health conditions. We also highlight topics that play major roles in how you navigate pharmacy as a career, such as the importance of joining pharmacy organizations both during and after pharmacy school. Okay, I told you the lineup was fire. Before we look at the top 5 moments, I just want to give a disclaimer that they weren't my personal top 5 favorites. Rather, they were the areas that resonated most with you. So it's time to let the recaps roll. I'll see you back shortly and we'll talk about what's coming for season 2. At first, I was going to do the 2-year accelerated track and go right in, and then that didn't happen.
That's very you, actually, to contemplate.
Oh, goodness. And then I was like, no, I'm going to do the 3-year. And then after that, it was like, okay, this is a little bit too fast for me. But actually, I had a professor who I told him what my plan was, and he asked me to step to the side so he could talk to me. Really? And he said, I really want you to consider getting an undergraduate degree. Really? Because if you go straight into this field and you don't get an undergraduate degree, but all you, well, not all that you have, not to minimize it, right? But if you have your doctorate in this specialty and you decide you don't like it, where else will you be able to go?
What's your fallback? Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, it just like started like, it was like a little seed that was planted, and I like heard him and I was like, oh yeah, thanks for your concern, bye. But like, but the seed kept growing in my mind and I couldn't get it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's right. Because it's also me to be like a little worrywart and like want to cover all bases.
Yes, also true.
So instead of me spending 2 years to go into pharmacy school, it actually took me 6. What would medicine look like if there weren't pharmacists in the emergency room or ICU setting, critical care setting?
So anything that goes into someone's body in a hospital, a pharmacist is looking at that order. I'm reaching out to providers and hey, is it okay if we use this instead of this because of X, Y, and Z? You're giving them this much of this medication, but their renal function is not great.
There would be a lot more medication errors.
A lot more.
Mm-hmm. So renal function is one of the things you're considering. Could you give us, just because I want some of the students who are thinking about whether they need to pay attention in class or not, about, you know, like when you're in a room learning and it's just like the teacher like, wah, 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 like you can
Charlie Brown.
Yeah, like you can tune out, but then like it's real.
It's real.
It's real. So like what else are you considering that saves lives?
Yeah. So protecting people's kidneys. But we're also looking at like liver function, you know, why an antibiotic is ordered. If they're ordering it for a specific reason, do we have those culture data? Do we have those sensitivities? Are we targeting the right bug with the antibiotic that's being chosen? Can we de-escalate the antibiotics, you know, go to a more narrow antibiotic versus something more broad to prevent all of these now resistant bacteria that we have?
So you're doing some stewardship.
Absolutely.
Antibiotic stewardship.
We look at, you know, are patients on DVT prophylaxis? Are we preventing patients from getting blood clots in the hospital? You know,
then you have to dose them sometimes based on their weight and
renal function and age. Looking at changing someone from an IV med to PO. Are they taking other oral medications? Are they eating? We look at a lot of different things that I feel like is not very well known to people other than pharmacists.
What brought you to your current position where you are in an infusion center and you are more clinical and you're oncology focused?
Right. So at one point, after working at a hospital for a very long time, I was getting a little tired of the work-life balance portion, working at a hospital, having to work evening shift, night shift, weekend, and holiday. And at a perfect timing, my friend did reach out to me saying, I do have a job position opening at an infusion center that's gonna give you more of a work-life balance. Also, she knew that I did have an oncology background. It's my first job, so I wasn't actively looking for a job, but that opportunity kind of fell on my lap. So that's how I got to this job.
Yeah, I think that's important for us to consider. The area that we go into determines our quality of life, because a hospital never closes.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if it's Christmas or Thanksgiving, people need help. And that was also something that brought me to the outpatient preference in pharmacy. We were looking at the stats earlier, and we saw that 50% of medical writers have doctorate degrees in the sciences. That includes pharmacists in that number. And then we have about 32%, they hold master degrees in the sciences. But as a pharmacist, what do you think is unique about our training? Like, why does pharmacy background serve this field so well?
About it, I think pharmacists are geared up and trained in pharmacy school for biostats, for reading studies. We're geared up and ready for evidence-based medicine, learning how to read a study, break down the study, not trust what the conclusion is saying, but build our own conclusion first.
Yeah.
And as long as you can if you can read a study like that and understand it and apply it, if you can then just take the next step and write it down, write what those thoughts are, what that means to answer a question, then that's medical writing. Also think, pharmacists were trained on drugs. And the biggest area for medical writing is the pharmaceutical industry. We have new drugs coming out every couple of days.
If you're interested in pharmacy, if you're in pharmacy and wanting to branch out, just do it. Like, network, talk to as many people as you can, get your feet wet as much as possible, and just dive in, because it's really an excellent career. It really is an excellent place to like meet people, and to learn different things. And one of the beauties of pharmacy is you can change your career every few years if you want to and be doing something completely different, which is not the case in other spaces.
We can pivot. The reason why we can talk about this is you can take up your pharmacy tool bag and just leave and go somewhere else. Welcome back, everyone. You know, what I really love about each of these highlights is they are real stories from real people just like you. Every single one of these pharmacists felt uncertain at some point. They all had to make difficult decisions, take calculated risk, and trust the process. But they also had something else in common. They were curious. They said yes to opportunities, and they weren't afraid to pivot when something wasn't working. I don't want to give away too much too soon, but I have received confirmation from multiple guests from wonderful areas that we rarely hear about, like nuclear pharmacy, the rise of artificial intelligence in healthcare, and I'll also be covering clinical specialties, of course, and we have things coming up like solid organ transplant. And this time around, I've been able to get confirmation from guests who are in the industry setting. So we'll be able to highlight that area as well. I'm so excited because I wasn't able to highlight this as much in the previous season. Another way I want to make season 2 more impactful for you is making sure that this experience is interactive and personal for you, because that's what I'm doing it for at the end of the day, right? So I'll be providing a place for you to send in questions that I will either be answering myself or asking the guests to answer during our interviews. You know what you want to learn way better than I do. If there's a specialty you're curious about, a career challenge you're facing, or a pharmacist whose story you think needs to be told, let me know. You can submit your request using the audience intake form on www.domthepharmacist.com/pharmacypathways. And if you'd like to be a guest yourself, you can fill out the guest interest form on that webpage as well. I'll make sure I put that link in the description. Making sure all of this comes together really nicely for you is going to take me some energy and time. So that is one of the main reasons why I'm taking a season break. But also, I want to take a break so that I can work on other things that really interest me as well. With that being said, I'm not going completely dark during the season break. You're still going to hear from me. There still will be active postings on the channel. As a matter of fact, I will be doing episode recaps. So I'll be taking larger clips of each episode and making sure that we capture that on specific topics. These are perfect if you want a quick refresher, if you missed an episode, or if you're limited on time and you just need some bite-sized wisdom. Think of them as like mini doses of career inspiration and information. Also, I'll be releasing a video series on natural diabetes management right here on my Dom the Pharmacist YouTube channel. I love what I do in the realm of career development, don't get me wrong, but I'm also very passionate about providing educational content on medications and disease states. That is also what I created this channel for. But I haven't really been able to lean into that as much as I would like because I was prioritizing the podcast. Again, nothing wrong with that, but I do want to make sure that I am still bringing in elements of why I originally created the channel as well. And lastly, I've also been thinking about bringing some of the topics that I cover privately with clients to the YouTube channel as well. So I would be going over things like CV and resume development, interview preparation for jobs, residency programs, internships, just overall strategies on how to set yourself apart and become a more competitive candidate. So let me know what you think about this in the comments. Also drop in the comments things that you have of specific interest. The best way to make sure you don't miss out on any of this content during the break or the season 2 launch is to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Seriously, do it now if you haven't already, because YouTube's algorithm can be unpredictable, but notifications ensure that you'll be the first to get it when the new content drops. Before we wrap up the episode, I just want to ask a small favor of you. I've received messages directly from people who have shared how impactful an episode was for them. I've even gotten requests from people asking if they can reach out to guests directly with even more follow-up questions. And literally that feedback, it warms my heart more than you can imagine. But here's the thing. I would really appreciate it if you could show that excitement and appreciation by liking the video when it provides value, also sharing that feedback in the comments. That is my ask of you during this break and moving into season 2. Your engagement on the channel lets YouTube know that the content is providing value, which incentivizes the algorithm to share it with others so that they can benefit too. You would really be doing me a solid by helping the channel grow this way. So please subscribe, share the episodes with colleagues and friends, comment on the videos with your own takeaways or even your own experiences. Ask questions, because the community we're building is only as strong as our engagement with each other. Thank you again for an amazing season 1. I'm Dom the Pharmacist, your host for Pharmacy Pathways, and I'm here to remind you that you deserve to be happy. You deserve to find a career that fulfills you, that is mutually beneficial, and the best is yet to come. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed and stay curious. I'm out.